We begin with today's developments. Let's bring in the WashingtonPost.com's Chris Cillizza. Chris, I want you to watch this bite from Joe Biden today. I think it's the kind of attack or approach, I should say, that the Democrats have been waiting for somebody to take in terms of taking this issue where their strong suit is the lousy economy. Let's watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, your kitchen table's like mine. You sit there at night after you put the kids to bed, and you talk. And you talk about what you need. You talk about how much you're worried about being able to pay the bills. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a worry John McCain has to worry about. It's a pretty hard experience. He'll have to figure out which of the 7 kitchen tables to sit at.
Well, that's not a speech over in Berlin, is it, Chris Cillizza? That speech is about putting the kids to bed at night and worrying if you can pay for their breakfast. That is bringing it home, isn't it?
Well, Chris, anyone who knows Joe Biden has covered him throughout the many years he's been in the Senate knows he has that common touch. It's a little bit strange in that he's been in the Senate since 1972, but he does have the ability to speak to, and he used this phrase on purpose, those kitchen table concerns. The Obama campaign believes if they can make this thing about the economy, John McCain is weak on the economy. We saw this huge hubbub earlier in the week. John McCain didn't know how many houses he owns. They're going to make the argument John McCain is fundamentally out of touch. And Joe Biden, working class, born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, that's not to be lost on voters. And if it is, you'll be reminded of it many times. They think that they've got the right profile in Joe Biden to make that appeal and to attack John McCain as a guy who's out of touch, who doesn't understand regular people's worries.
Okay, they hit John McCain where he's weak. The economy, his connection with Bush. It was almost a forced marriage with Bush. You're his brother, buddy. And let's take a look at going after the strong suit. Everyone respects on both sides of the aisle, and certainly in the media, John McCain's service to his country. But here's Joe Biden ripping the bark off that claim to fame.
But ladies and gentlemen, the reckoning is now. And the reality is that we must answer the call, or we will risk the harshest version and verdict of history. These times call for a total change in Washington's worldview. These times require more than a good soldier. They require a wise leader.
We have Andrea Mitchell joining us, right? Andrea, I never thought, excuse me, Chris, I've got to go to Andrea on this. This is your foreign policy beat right here. No one thought that Joe Biden would take a punch right in the nose at John McCain on his record as a soldier. But here he is with that line. It requires more than being a good soldier. It requires a wise leader. That's going at him.
It sure is, and saying that he's talking about his friend of 35 years, Chris. So he's really taking a shot at him, and that's one of the reasons he was picked, because they feel that he can validate Barack Obama for his lack of foreign policy experience and is uniquely qualified to go after John McCain. He can say, as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, I love him like a brother, he's my friend, but he's wrong on Iraq. And he also was a big enough figure and confident enough to say, I was wrong to vote for the war in 2002. So he disagreed with Barack Obama. The real tip-off was when Barack Obama said midweek, I want someone who will have a robust debate with me inside the White House. That's Joe Biden.
Well, it looks like he's going to get off a good debate against whoever the Republicans pick for VP. Chris Cillizza, a sensitive point here. It's ethnic, therefore sensitive. A lot of people believe that an African-American candidate, the first one with a really good shot at being a president to win, has to be careful about not looking too hard, too indictive, too tough, too much the prosecutor. Joe Biden doesn't have that problem. He's going at him like he is a prosecutor.
I mean, Chris, I don't know that it has to do necessarily with Barack Obama. I think, frankly, every presidential candidate would prefer to be seen by the public as the guy carrying the positive message, hope, change, a vision for the future. But, of course, you also need someone to prosecute that more negative message, to say not only is Barack Obama the best choice, but John McCain's a bad choice for X, Y, and Z reasons. And I think Andrea is 100% right. Joe Biden's willingness to go after John McCain, to go after, frankly, his own Democratic Party during the debates. This is a guy who does not shy away from attacks. He does it with a smile, but he does it. And he's been in politics long enough to know that you have got to move those kind of negative messages to go along with the positive message the nominee's talking about.
Well, here's one organization that didn't have to get the text message at 3 in the morning. It's the Republican campaign of John McCain. They had this ad ready like in a Pez dispenser. This was ready to come out. Here it is, the Republican shot at Joe Biden. First one out of the tunnel.
What does Barack Obama's running mate say about Barack Obama?
You were asked, is he ready? You said, I think he can be ready, but right now I don't believe he is. The presidency is not something that lends itself to on-the-job training.
I think that I stand by the statement.
And what does he say about John McCain?
I would be honored to run with or against John McCain because I think the country would be better off.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
Oh, that's yesterday. Today, Joe Biden said this about his new running mate, Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, no one knows better than I do. The presidential campaigns are crucibles in which you're tested and challenged every single day. And over the past 18 months, I've watched Barack meet those challenges with judgment, intelligence, and steel in his spine.
Andrea, it looks like the on-the-job training has been a success. It's over. He's ready. There he is, Joe Biden saying so.
Well, it's Joe Biden validating Barack Obama. And I think that people will understand. The McCain campaign, we're going to try to open this rift, and they're going to even go farther by trying to put up an ad and say that the Democrats passed over their best qualified running mate, Hillary Clinton, trying to widen the gaps in the Democratic Party. But what Joe Biden can do, the Democrats think at least, is validate him. He is a gray-haired, if not white-haired, veteran of the Senate with domestic and foreign policy experience because he was the former chairman of the Judiciary Committee, did a lot for law enforcement, expanded police forces across the country. And you can't overstate the importance of the blue-collar roots, the appeal to Pennsylvania, and not just the Catholic voters, but also the Jewish voters. Some of the older voters who were very resistant to coming along to Barack Obama, they need Joe Biden to be the ambassador in those suburbs of Philadelphia. Chris?
Yeah, Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz from Florida, and she represents a lot of Jewish voters down in the South Florida area. She said today on an earlier broadcast that she believes that he has very good voting record, a very good voting record in support of the state of Israel, right down the line, a traditional Democrat in that regard, not a new kid on the block. Let me go over to Chris Cillizza for this question. Do you really believe that the Republican, and I must say the Fox Television and the CNN crocodile tears about Hillary Clinton are not to be believed, that they're simply playing the Republican game here of trying to open up this rift, as Andrea says?
Absolutely. Look, they know that they've seen the NBC Wall Street Journal poll, Chris. They can read these poll numbers. Only 52% of self-identified supporters of Senator Clinton are behind Barack Obama right now. They clearly see that as an opening. And they know the way the country is currently, the national political environment clearly favors Democrats. The McCain campaign knows that if every self-identified Democrat and every self-identified Republican come out, they're going to wind up losing. So what they need to do is find a way to peel away some of those disgruntled Clinton voters, and they've tried it several times before. I would assume that they will continue to do that. You know, one way that they might really get to do it, Chris, I don't know if they'll go this route, is for John McCain to pick a woman as his vice president.
Let me, well, do you have something for that? Any reporting there? We're always ready for that stuff.
Well, Chris, here's what I'll tell you. I know that the McCain campaign has been very interested in the idea of that, not just because of Senator Clinton and the possibility of picking up her supporters, but also because they see it as a way to match the historic ticket that Barack Obama represents. That said, there aren't a whole heck of a lot of good names out there.
Yeah, could this be another case, Andrea, of Chet Edwards, of picking out a name out there in somewhere, or Eric Cantor? Find somebody who represents a group that you want to build into your coalition, you know, cheer them up, spruce them up, give them lots of media attention for 48 hours with absolutely no intention of including them even in a vetting process.
And even if you vet them, then drop them off the cliff. I just don't see that there is I take what Chris said because it would be a masterstroke, many people believe, but there just aren't that many women that fit the calculation. Perhaps Kay Bailey Hutchison, because she has the experience, and Texas, but they were going to win Texas anyway, most likely, and then you have 2 Republican senators. It just isn't a great fit. I still think they're going to end up with Mitt Romney or Tim Pawlenty. Tim Pawlenty, youth, conservatives would be happy. Mitt Romney, the economic message. Slightly, his chances perhaps slightly hurt by 7 houses or 10 houses or 4 houses or whoever you believe on the House count. The Richie Rich thing might not play too well.
I think their total of houses right now is 11 houses. Anyway, thank you very much, Andrew Mitchell, for rushing over, Chris Cillizza for getting over as well.